Hi guys, it's Charlie Book Fanatic and welcome to my weekly reading vlog for week 20. I'm not going to tell you the books I'm going to be reading this week. It's Tuesday, by the way. I'm going to do it later on in the week because I'm still reading the books I was reading last week. So I'm going to finish Confess by Colleen Hoover tomorrow. I still have 50 pages left to go. And I'm going to finish Zoya by Danielle today as well, if I get to that, because I still have to read 70 pages or something, and that book is going so slow for me because the font is like little. And then the book I just finished is One for the Money by Evanovich, and I just finished this and I'm going to rate it 4 stars. I haven't put my review on Goodreads yet, but I love this. Like, it's so good. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did like the main character. So funny, like so funny. I laughed out loud multiple times at this book, and it's even the Dutch edition, and I normally really dislike Dutch translations, but I really like this one. I laughed so many times at this, like laughing out loud moments. I loved the dynamics between Stephanie and Joe. I love how they kind of created their own friendship, but there is no relationship in this book, and I think it's going to be like I expected it to be. Like, they create a relationship over several books, like a romantic relationship, and I'm so ready for that. I'm so excited. Like, I can't wait for the sequel to this book. And after this, like, I don't know when, but I really want to see the movie with Katherine Heigl, and I'm so excited. Like, after reading this book, I'm so glad my mom gave this to me for my birthday. I love it. Hi guys, I felt like I should finally start the vlog today because it's already Thursday and I haven't even properly started the vlog. So I am going to talk about the books I'm going to be reading this week. I'm still fucking reading the books I was reading last week. Actually, I finished One for the Money yesterday, I think, or the day before that. And I finished Confess by Colleen Hoover today, which is Thursday. But I haven't finished Zoya by Danielle yet because I can't find the motivation to finally finish it because the font is like so little and I get through that so slowly. It's not really encouraging at all. So I have 3 books planned out for this week, except for the books I was already reading last week. And the first book is the second Colleen Hoover book I will ever read, and it's exactly after I read Confess. It's not that I enjoyed Confess so much. I rated it 3 stars. It wasn't my favorite book ever. It didn't really impress me that much. Like, the extras impressed me, like the artwork really did it for me, and the confessions, like the extras Colleen added, but the writing style and the writing style was good, but the story wasn't really my cup of tea. Like, there was huge insta-love in that, and these people couldn't live without each other anymore. I did enjoy the elements Colleen added to the story, like the surprise elements in it, but I didn't enjoy the way that the main characters fell in love with each other immediately. Like, they started caring for each other the moment they saw each other. But I borrowed this book along with Confess from the library, so I will be reading it because I didn't hate Confess and I want to give Colleen Hoover a second chance. So I'm going to be reading Ugly Love. This book is about a girl called Tate Collins and a boy called Miles Archer. Actually, a woman and a man. And they don't really like each other, but they do have a mutual physical attraction to each other, and they start a no strings attached relationship, friends but not really friends with benefits relationship. And Miles has 2 rules. The first one is don't ask about the past, and the second one is don't expect a future, and they both think they can handle that, but obviously they can't. And I really enjoy the title of this book, Ugly Love. And I hope this is going to be a tormented and really dark contemporary, because that's how I like my contemporary. The second book I'm going to be reading is Down the Rabbit Hole, Curious Adventures and Cautionary Tales of a Former Playboy Bunny by Madison. This book I saw on Eleanor Reads Books channel, And this is a memoir from a former Playboy bunny, and I normally don't read memoirs, but this one really spoke to me. And Holly Madison describes how her life in the Playboy mansion went and what went down inside the Playboy mansion, and I'm really curious about this really weird concept that the Playboy mansion actually is, and I want to read about it, so that's what I'm going to do this week. And the last book I'm going to be reading this week is a buddy read with Katie Loves to Read, and that book is The Knife of Never Letting Go. This is a Dutch edition, the first book in the Chaos Walking trilogy by Patrick Ness. I have read one other book by Patrick Ness, which was The Rest of Us Just Live Here, and I really liked that one, so I picked this up from a second-hand bookshop, and I am going to buddy read this with Katie. And we have started a Voxer chat, and we are going to read this from Saturday onwards, and we're going to read 100 pages a day. It's a really thick book, but the font is like huge. As you can see, it doesn't look that huge in the camera, if I'm being honest. But I wonder if I can read 100 pages a day of this, because it is in Dutch, and I don't really like reading in Dutch, but I keep buying books in Dutch and borrowing books from the library in Dutch. But I hope I will like this, because otherwise time is wasted. Life of Never Letting Go is about a boy called Todd Hewitt. Everyone can hear each other's thoughts in this village that Todd lives in, and then suddenly there is a girl and Todd can't hear her thoughts. And it's also strange that she is a girl because all the other women have been killed by the noise. I'm not exactly sure what the noise is, but described on the back of this book, and I don't know what it is, but we will find out in this book, and I will explain to you what the noise is when I have read and understand it completely. So those are the other 3 books I want to read this week. I will let you know throughout the week what I think about these books, what I actually finish, because I don't know what I will finish. I don't think I will finish anything this week, actually, from the books I just picked out, but I will finish Zoya, because I am going to finish Zoya today. Like, I'm going to force myself to finally finish it, because it's time, guys, it's time. Well, hello, it's Friday today, and like I said, I started reading Down the Rabbit Hole, which is the memoir of the former Playboy bunny Holly Madison, and I started reading Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover, and I have Ugly Love with me in physical copy. I'm 50 pages in now, and I actually have to say I think I already like it more than I liked Confess, which was the first book I read by Colleen Hoover. This one, I feel like it's not going to be insta-love like it was in Confess. Like, these two main characters in Confess immediately were attracted to each other, and well, that's the thing with Tate, who is the female main character in this book. She is attracted to Miles, who is the male main character in this book, but it's not like they immediately care about each other and they immediately want to know everything about each other, or they immediately fall in love and can't live without the other one, you know? And that was the case with Confess, and I already like this more just because of the story. Like, Miles is a pilot who lives in this apartment complex with Corbin, who is Tate's brother, and Tate is moving in with her brother so she can work part-time on the weekends, I believe, and continue on with her studying and her school. And of course, the male main character has a deep, dark secret, like that was the case with Confess, which was kind of underwhelming if I think about it, if I'm being honest here. And I'm also 50 pages into Down the Rabbit Hole, which isn't the full title, by the way, but the full title's way too long to even remember. And I'm also drinking alcohol, so, you know, I don't have much space to think. Anyway, the reason I started reading this memoir is because I'm really interested in the life in the Playboy Mansion, and so far it hasn't surprised me, but also did in a way. Like, I didn't know there were these exclusive parties that you had to be invited to at the Playboy Mansion, and that was the case with Holly Madison. She was invited to all of these Playboy parties, and you had to come in nightwear or in swimwear, which is really weird, but also not considering Hugh Hefner and the Playboy Mansion and the whole Playboy concept. But it's also really weird to go to a party in your nightwear. And then the whole sleeping with Hugh Hefner thing. All of the girls in the house denied that they were sleeping with Hugh Hefner to Holly. And then Holly was invited along to a party with Hugh Hefner and the Playboy Mansion girls, and they all went off to a nightclub. And when they came back to the house, the girls said that she had to come with to the sleeping chambers of Hugh Hefner, and it got strange. Like, how she described it got really fucking strange. I'm not going to tell you, like, if you want to know, you have to read this book, but it's fucking strange. Hi guys, here we are again. It's Sunday, it's the end of the week, and I'm going to wrap up my week for you now. I've been so busy with college assignments, I'm pretty proud of myself that I even got to do any reading this week. Having said that, I have read more than 50 pages in a book a day, because I'm reading, currently, Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. I have 20 pages left to go. Like, literally 20 pages. This is how far I'm in. 20 pages. I am addicted to this book. Like, seriously, I couldn't read just 50 pages a day. Yesterday, I think I read 100 pages in this because I just needed to know how the romance between Tate and Miles was going, and this is just so good. This is such a good book. I am quite mad at myself for picking up Confess by Colleen Hoover first, because I didn't like Confess. And I'm really liking this one. I think this is a 4-star read for me, while Confess was a 3-star read, like 2-star, 3-star. And this is just so much better. Like, the romance, it's slow burning. Like, Tate, who is the female main character, is immediately attracted to Miles, and she is falling in love with him, but it's not as bad as it was in Confess, with these people not being able to live without each other. It's just they have so much chemistry and there is so much sexual attraction between them and so much lust. That's mostly what it is described as, but the book plays out over a time span of several months, so it's kind of easy to get into the fact that these characters come to like each other after this many months of talking to each other and mostly having sex with each other. Like, Miles is a pilot and he goes away for 10 days at a time sometimes, and when they get back they have sex. Like, there's so much sex scenes in this, but I love how Colleen Hoover writes them. Not that I mind them normally, I really love sex scenes in my books, but some authors just write them so cringe-worthy that I just can't read them, and Colleen Hoover is not one of those authors. Like, she can write her sex scenes. I think a good sex scene is written when I feel butterflies in my stomach, and one author that does that is C.J. Duggan, but I also felt some butterflies while reading the sex scenes in this book. Not all of them, but definitely some of them. Also, Miles, the male main character, has a deep dark secret like Owen had in Confess, but his secret was also so shocking. Like, I didn't cry, well, maybe for a little bit, but his secret was so dark, and I actually did not really see it coming. I expected it to be something else, but it definitely explained why he is the way he is. Then I'm on my second buddy reading day for The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness, and I am 200 pages into this. Like, that is a lot already. Like, I normally read 50 pages a day, so I've been reading 100 pages a day with Katie Loves to Read for this book, so I'm 200 pages in because we've been reading 2 days now. And I'm kind of liking it so far, but it feels kind of strange to me because the language is, like, a dialogue is written in phonetic style, so it is written as how you would pronounce the words, and it annoyed me at first, but it doesn't really anymore. But there's also some violence against animals in this. Like, Todd has a dog, and he's constantly hitting his dog and shouting at his dog, and I feel it's just animal abuse, and I don't condone it, and I don't like it. I would have expected him to be over that kind of behaviour. Todd is 12 years old, and he's almost turning 13, like in a month's time, and Todd is 200 pages in, he's still hitting his dog. Like, when is he going to grow up? He's also getting frustrated with the female main character because she wasn't speaking to him, because she has experienced some traumatic events and she didn't speak after that because she was hurt so much, and she didn't show any emotion as well. And Todd was getting frustrated with her, and instead of hitting her in the face because he really wanted to, he punched himself in the face multiple times. So he has kind of an aggressive problem as well. And I don't really like Todd at the moment. I get that he's in a difficult situation because he feels like everyone has lied to him his entire life, but I still feel like he could be better. He could be less whiny and less aggressive, and he certainly doesn't have to abuse his dog. What I do like about the book is the world building though. That there's a really big mystery surrounding Prentice Town, which is the town that Todd is from. And I am curious as to find out what this mystery exactly is and why everyone is making such a ruckus about Todd and Viola, who's the female main character. I'm really excited to find out what is exactly going on in this world and to find out more about the world in general. The world building is a part I really like about this book, but I feel like Todd is not my favourite character right now, and I'm kind of neutral towards Viola because she hasn't spoken much yet, so I can't really have an opinion about her, except that I found really frustrating, just like Todd, that she wouldn't speak and she was just kind of... She didn't help him in any way, she was just more like a burden, even though it's really hard to say because she obviously has been traumatized by the events that took place surrounding her, but I still feel like I'm kind of neutral towards her. Maybe I'll like her, but I certainly dislike Todd at this moment. And the last book I'm reading is Down the Rabbit Hole, and I'm not going to finish that today either. So, Down the Rabbit Hole is a memoir from a former Playboy bunny, and I'm the curious person that I am. I'm like 200 pages in, something like that. And there was a part where Holly Madison, who is the author of this book, writes that all of these bunnies in this mansion, all of these girls, they were kind of enemies from each other. They all tried to manipulate each other. They were all really mean to each other. And then in this book, Holly describes an event. They were filming for MTV Cribs and they were showing the house, and Holly was Hef's main girlfriend at a point in time, and she could stand next to Hef in the MTV Cribs documentary tour of the house. And there is one point that Holly Madison, like specifically Holly, says, we're like sisters in here, we're like sorority sisters. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I get that she has to say something like that, but I found it really fucking funny that she, in the book, described them as they were definitely not like sorority sisters. They all hated each other. They all really disliked each other. And then you watch the fucking MTV Cribs documentary and she's like, we're all sisters. And if this feels kind of wrong. I do really like the book. It's so weird. Like, I did not expect life in the Playboy Mansion to be the way it is. Like, it sounds kind of fucking boring. But it also sounds... I don't know. I picture Hef as this really fragile old man. But when you watch him on, like, a documentary, reality show, whatever, he is not the fragile old man that she describes him to be. Like, whenever something is not going Hef's way, he starts fucking crying like a baby, or really yelling or shouting at these girls because they don't do what he wants. And it's also a specific occasion where Holly wants to go out and do something. She gets an opportunity to do something for herself because she wants a career. That's why she joined Playboy Mansion. She thought it was a jump start to her career. It obviously wasn't, because Hef wouldn't allow them to do anything to further their career. And she tried to make use of this opportunity by talking to Hef about it. And Hef was literally screaming at her and telling her to... She couldn't do it because he would be jealous. What? I'm like, literally, reading this book, I'm like, what the fuck? The whole time. Like, I think it's a 3-star book so far for me. I wonder how she got out, because I don't know anything about Holly Madison or the Playboy Mansion in general. I do know a bit more now after reading this memoir, of course. But I still feel like I just wonder how she got out and why she is telling this whole story now and how she is able to tell a story in a book without being prosecuted by Hugh Hefner. Because, I mean, why would he allow her to
basically tell everything that is going on in the Playboy Mansion for the whole world to see. This is my weekly reading vlog for week 20. I hope you enjoyed it. I think it's going to be fucking long because I have rambled a lot and I've talked a lot about the books I've read this week. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Goodbye!